Process excellence from the inside out. Most improvement approaches only focus on projects directed at site or strategic business unit effectiveness. Daily team excellence is needed to convert process outputs into customer satisfaction gains. High performers know employee development is the key to organizational growth. Dr. Stephen Covey is one of my 3 process and personal improvement gurus, along with W. Edwards Deming and Peter Senge. One of the key things Dr. Covey taught me as part of his 7 Habits of Highly Effective People training was the inside-out concept. In essence, this concept has to do with focusing on what you can control and working to make changes in those areas, instead of wasting effort and mental focus on things that are outside of your circle of influence. While Covey's application of inside out has more to do with personal change, I've learned over the years that it can be applied to organizational improvement as well. Over the past 25 or so years, I've seen a shift in process improvement focus take place in most organizations towards one that is primarily project team-based. Currently, it seems that most organizations are counting on project teams to drive and make most of their process improvement changes. There's nothing wrong with this approach, but relying on it alone may be sending a message to a high percentage of your people that if you're not on a team, you don't have to practice process improvement as part of your job. In the short term, this approach will save the organization time and money. As designed, however, its use by a limited number of people on a limited number of processes will result in extended calendar time to make a lot of changes. Additionally, the probability of sustaining the changes that are made will be significantly decreased given the limited degree that effective stakeholders are engaged in improvement. If you practice process excellence from the inside out, every process owner, in other words, every manager and supervisor, will be expected to change, and they will be expected to contribute to the process improvement culture shift. With this approach, process improvement is not an option. People are not allowed the luxury of continuing to do things as they've always done them. The approaches we explore in this book are intended to help make process excellence a daily reality. They are not new, however. They both served me well as a director of quality and plant manager, and they are consistent with the approaches high-performing organizations in the world are using. Most importantly, if you and others learn to use the approaches in this book, many of your frustrating workplace headaches will go away. Warm-up exercise. Defining expectations. What would you like to learn? What would you like to learn from reading this workbook? What are your motivations for pursuing process excellence? What changes would you like to see in your workplace or organization from this time investment? Use the space provided below to identify the top 2 to 3 things you would like to get from spending your time and energy reading this book and doing the exercises in each section. Once you've identified your expectations, create a general definition of what process excellence means to you. As with all the exercises in this workbook, consider sharing your individual work with those in your team. Get their feedback on your thoughts. Explore how they may answer the questions. I think you'll benefit from making that information sharing happen. Exploring process excellence. What is process excellence? Minimal waste, consistent improvement, best in class at meeting or exceeding customer expectations. How do you achieve it? Define and build process excellence into every employee's daily job. How do you know if you're making progress? 1. Sustained improvement over time, typically 3 to 5 years. 2. Sustained improvement in all areas of importance. 3. Nearing or at best-in-class levels. What percent of organizations actually display the attributes of process excellence? My unscientific estimate places this value somewhere between 5 and 10%. Sounds low, doesn't it? I wish the percentage was higher, but when I apply the definition of process excellence that I have learned through serving as an examiner for the Malcolm Baldrige National Performance Excellence Award process, I feel pretty confident in this estimation. Most organizations tend to have pockets of excellence, but they struggle to reach sustained levels of good performance against best-in-class organizations in all areas of importance. Process excellence is much easier to define than it is to attain. In order to be seen as a true high performer, 3 conditions need to be met. First, you need to be able to demonstrate sustained levels of improved performance over time. Second, you need to be able to show how these levels of sustained performance have been achieved in all areas of importance, such as key customer segments, service lines, staff groups, or geographic locations. Your performance levels in all areas of importance need to be approaching, if not at or above, best-in-class levels. Sounds challenging, doesn't it? Believe it or not, most organizations don't even trend their performance over time in all areas of importance. In other words, they're not even in a position to prove that they are a high performer without doing a lot of research and chart creation first. If they do have a person on staff that has created the master spreadsheet of result-focused counts and ratios, they may be able to show trended performance for many different metrics. If so, the odds are all of these lines aren't consistently trending in the positive direction. More likely than not, a lot of the measures go in that direction some of the time, but not consistently from year to year. What is the case in your organization? How many different results areas can you show performance over time for?